Have you ever used any of these terms? I'll sleep when I die. Sleep is the cousin of death. I'm on my grizzy. Hustle 24/7. I'm on my grind. If you have, you may be entitled to compensation from the hustle and grind culture. Okay, no, you might not be entitled to the compensation, but in this video, I am going to help you move from the hustle and grind culture to freedom and flow. And a big 7 tips. So check it out. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, comment. This is live. If you're joining us live, I'd love to hear your comments, interact, answer your questions, and let's get into it. Share this with other folks because you might know some young men that are still or even old men that are still stuck in that hustle and grind culture. It's not the good idea. It's not the best idea. um so I want to kind of help guys get free from that because I too had subscribed to that. So I've been in business for about 15 years or so. I've run my fitness studio here in town. I've started Lionheart men's coaching that has been going on since 2020. I've been working with men for many years prior to that, but made it official when the when the right time for God to move us into that particular area itself. So starting off with business, when I started, and I was actually working as a fitness manager at a retirement resort locally. And so I had a full-time job. And on the side is when I built my fitness studio. Well, actually, fitness business. I started off in a parking lot in my current church. Now, it wasn't my church at the time, but that's where I started. And so a lot of times we think that entrepreneurs are these folks that just sell everything and go all in their business. Um, that's not usually the case. Usually, you have something firm and a firm foundation of a job or some one other business or whatever it may be before you start stepping into entrepreneurship. One of my buddies, Rick Streb, mentor and friend, recommended a book called The Reluctant Entrepreneur, and it talked about that. Like, I had a full time job and I built my business around it. So what I did was, um, I had 2 sessions that I did in the morning. It was a 5:30 and a 6:45 session. Then I jumped into my truck, switched uniforms from what I was doing with my business to go work 7 to 9 hours or so at the resort. And then I would finish there. I came back to my place and I coached 2 more sessions. So that was a schedule, which I thought was only going to be about 6 months. It wound up being 2 years. But in the midst of that, the hustle was necessary. The grind was necessary to get moving it because I needed to support my family while building this dream business, while building the next thing. And so, but we have to be careful because sometimes we hear this 7 streams of income is what the wealthy do, and we try to do all 7 streams at the same time. There's a transition. You build up one to where it's stable, and then you start the next thing. You don't do it all at the same time. So some of these tips I want to give you guys are going to come from that, from my own experiences where the hustle and grind, and all that. I sleep when I died. I sleep as a cousin of death. I said all those things, but what I found out was that hustle culture, hustle and grind. I don't even like the word grind anymore. I correct my clients that I coach, my men that I coach, when they're talking about being on the grind. It's grinding my gears and things like that, because grind down to a pulp. You're stripping away who you are. You may be stripping away your soul, stripping away your physical, mental, spiritual, emotional body. All the things that are part of you can be stripped down with this grind. And so we don't grind. We don't need to grind. It's okay. Now, I want to make sure I want to share that there's a difference between hustle and grind and doing hard work. I do believe in doing hard work, but most of the time, the hard work is not the primary. It's doing the right work. When they say, "Oh, work smarter, not harder," there's a part of smart and hard in there. But how can I actually maximize my strengths and delegate things that I'm not so good at? Those are the lessons you have to learn along the way. A lot of times, a good coach will help you figure those things out. A good mentor will help you figure those things out. Or failing along the way when you get into burnout, that'll teach you too. I'm trying to help you guys get away from being in the pit, what I call the pit of despair. In the pit of despair is where men go in agony, in defeat, in anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, self sabotage. All these things come up in that pit of despair. So I want to keep it from getting there. We don't have to go there. We don't have to get into the point where you that desperate in desperation in your life, where everything feels like it's closing in. Been there, done that. It ain't good. But that hustle and grind will move you into there. So let's look at what it looks like to actually go with freedom and flow. That just sounds like sounds easier. So I really subscribe to, if you do it as hard, your life will be easy. If you do it as easy, your life will be hard. So there are things that need to be done, and the hard work sometimes is the being still. The hard work is in getting away from the way I've done it all my life, the way I've been taught to do it. The hard work is in thinking and looking for ways and creating ways to change the narrative, to change the systems, to change the way I look at it too. So I'm gonna give you guys seven keys to be able to move from that culture itself. So once again, if you're watching this live, I'd love to hear your comments, see your comments and questions, anything that you got coming forward. Of course, you can do the same thing later on as it is there. So let's get into it, guys. So key number one, redefine success. Let's redefine what success means to you. So it may have started off as all about making money or getting a certain status. And maybe what are those some of those things might have been what really fueled you to get started. But let's redefine what success looks like. Some people get so caught up in, oh, I don't want to be successful, or I don't want. No, it is our duty to be successful in our divine mission. Whatever God called us to do, we're going to, and if you're a believer, you are reflecting Him. So you're supposed to be doing it in excellence. But what does that look like? Excellence doesn't necessarily mean because I made so much money, I did this and that. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to make a lot of money. I am not shying away from the fact that I want to be wealthy. The goal is to be wealthy, but that is the byproduct of me being impactful, being fulfilled. So look at the things that really makes a difference itself. It's not always about that. It's about the impact, the purpose, the thing that that you're called to do. So my mission is always to help guys conquer their calling. What is it that I'm supposed to do and fight off all the things that's preventing me from seeing my calling come into fruition, or seeing your calling to come into fruition? I'm here to fight that. Here's some stats for you guys. A study found that 56% of men feel pressured to achieve financial success, leading to stress and burnout. And that's by American Psychological Association. So what does the word say? Word says in Matthew 16:26, for what will it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul or lose his soul? Now, when we talk about profit, not just the money, but going for the status, going for the big dream, going for whatever it is to look good in front of people's, to show them that I can do it. A lot of times it's like, I want to do it to prove them wrong. That is helpful, but it may not be the right fuel to get you moving towards your particular goals itself. To have that, it's more that selfish ambition and more vanity to show them, to prove them wrong. It could be something that fuels you, but not the thing that is like the thing that really moves the dial in your life. It's probably more superficial. But what is it that is about your impact? What is about your legacy? The things that you want to last. That's where it gets a little bit more there. So are you going to focus on impact and fulfillment versus just the money? I truly believe the money is going to be, and the wealth and all those things are going to be byproducts to you doing great work. Let that be the byproduct. That's just going to come along. I know that's going to come along because of the impact that I'm going to have on the life of men that I work with, the life of organizations and places that I work with. So all that's going to be on that side of things. What's up, my brother? Michael Lanks is in the house, bro. I appreciate you. Me and Mike go way back to elementary school. He says, that's what exactly I am right now, bro. God always uses your voice for some reason when I need to hear something. Bro, when I saw you said you were coming today, I'm glad you're here, fam. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be down in October. I'll be back down in New Orleans. So maybe we can connect, going from my 30, which should be around the same as yours, 30th reunion from high school too. So, brother, I'm glad you're here. Drop questions. I'm glad. I believe in divine connection, divine timing. Sometimes we can pick up a book or read an article or hear a word, go to church and hear a sermon, but it's not for the season we're in. So sometimes we just got to be reminded of it later on down the line. We have to see it down the line where our hearts are ready to receive, when our hearts are pliable, when the soil of our hearts are ready to receive that seed of the next thing. what God is looking to put into us, the transitions that our lives going through, difficult situations, whatever it may be. So glad you're here. I'm glad this is hitting home, brother. So I'm here to support you. Um, so when you look at focus and impact and not the hours, many times we glorify, oh, I worked from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., something like that. If you work that long, there's a great chance that you are not being efficient and effective. You're just doing it for like vanity metrics. I work 12 hours a day. I only slept 3 hours. Like what for what? Bro, your body needs to sleep. Your body needs to rest and recover. But we get into this part about the quality of the hours and stuff like that. And it's about, creating value, not just clocking in. What value am I bringing to the marketplace? The more value you bring to the marketplace, even if it's inside of a business, a job that's not your own, the more value you bring to that organization, the more you can rise up in the ranks, the more you can actually grow and change along the way. So become more valuable. So what does that mean? I mean to bring more skills to the table. I might need to invest in continue education, read the books, get another certification or license, whatever it is to take me to move myself in this business. I just came back from a conference. It costs money to fly to DC and get a rental car and drive around and do all those things and actually go to a conference. I mean, my business has to run without me. I have payroll. All these things are being taken care of while I'm still here. I mean, while I'm away. So, but I know I have to continue to grow, to learn, so that I can be better at running my businesses. So, I put that in. I put that time in it. So, what are you doing to get better? When the Bible talks about wisdom in today's standards actually translates to skill. What is the skill? When Joseph said, "I needed Solomon, Joseph too, but Solomon asked God for the wisdom to discern. He wanted discernment and a wisdom and knowledge to be able to rule over the people in a way that honors God. So he had to pick up on skills. Give me the skills. And it's funny because he asked for wisdom, God gave him wealth. So if wealth is evil, why would God give it to him? Even if he didn't ask for him, he probably didn't, because wealth is good. He needed it for his calling. Now, not everybody needs to be ultra wealthy or whatever it may be, but wealth in his case, for some of us, are called to be wealth generators because God's going to funnel it through us to other people. So be part of that, looking at not about the hours and all those things. So what are the things that you're going to redefine what success means? What are those personal definitions itself? So is it time spent with family? Is it vacations? Is it getting massages? Is it doing the things that feed your soul? So what are those success matrix that are different maybe than a profit and loss statement? That's typically where we go into what's the profit and loss situation. So Jim, I thought you was you were out fishing. You must be back home already. Jim says, I view my grandparents as financially successful. They only had a small farm, but they had food and roof, and they worked hard. They had what they needed and have impacted generations. Absolutely. You know, Thank you for that, Jim. And Jim is a little bit more aged, in so to speak. So Jim comes with a lot of wisdom from himself. But like you said, you saw your grandparents, small farm, but they made the most of it. It wasn't about necessarily the wealth. It was about the wealth of wisdom and knowledge and things that they were able to pour into their kids and grandkids. Because here you are, you're gleaning from what they did and what they showed and what you saw. So they were modest in the things they had. They had something, but once again, oh, the boat wouldn't start. Oh, sorry, Jim. Well, I'm glad you're here, but I hope you get the boat fixed, dude. So that's what he said. He's here, here today. I know he's going to go fishing today and thought he was going to catch the replay. But yeah, that's important to recognize. The wealth is in your health. The wealth is in the stories that you can pass on. Wealth is in your legacy. I'm driven by legacy. I want the things that I've done on this earth to last. I want them to endure time. I want them to endure the generations of my kids and grandkids and all the things until Jesus comes back. Whatever that looks like. So yes, what does success mean into you, and redefine what it means. If it's all about a paycheck and it's all about that, that might not be the thing. Let that be the byproduct of you doing awesome work. Okay. So that was key number one, is redefine success. Key number two is prioritize rest and renewal. Okay. Prioritize rest and renewal. We've got to rest. We've got to rest. You know, you can't sprint a marathon. You can try your best, but you're gonna fizz out. Even with that, there I look at, they talk about work life balance. Look more about rhythm and seasons of flow into things. There are seasons where you have to sprint, you have to get after it. So there are seasons where you have to go hard, but you want to look at, okay, for how long? Because if I do a 100-meter sprint at full max, I'm not able to just jump right into and do another whole 100-meter sprint at the same capacity that I did the first one. I need time. I need some recovery. I need rest. So therefore, I'm not going to be able to just jump right back into that. I need to give my body some time to recover. So understanding the value of rest. Okay, um, it's it's essential for peak performance. So you need to understand the difference between strategically resting versus laziness. Now, I'm not talking about being lazy. I'm not talking about not working hard. I'm not talking about those things. But work hard, rest. Go hard, win easy. Doing, really putting an effort into the things that are necessary for you to do those, for you to have the rest. So even if you have a major project coming up, it's good to sit down with your team or your family and say, hey, for the next 6 weeks, for the next 6 days, whatever it is in this time, we've got to go after it. We've got to get after it. We got to make this thing happen. This is a sprint. But at the end of it, at the end of the sprint, you tell your family, we're going to go to our favorite place. We're going to go for a vacation. We're going to take some time away. I'm going to be fully present there, but right now, give daddy some time. Baby, give me some time right now because I got to get this done. I have this major project right now. But there's got to be a light at the end of the tunnel. There's got to be rest at the end of that. Some kind of way, rest and reward need to be on the other side of that season. But you're just not going to be able to sprint for 5 years, for the whole year. There's times where you need to be able to infuse that rest. That's that Sabbath, the renew. Got a stat here for you guys. It says men who report not getting enough sleep are 55% more likely to experience anxiety and depression. That's from the National Sleep Foundation. 55%. If you're not getting enough sleep, more anxiety and depression are going to come. Your body's not recovering. Your brain has to overwork if you're not hydrated. You're not moving your body. If you're not getting the rest and enough restorative sleep, not just sleep, but restorative sleep from 7 to 9 hours. And I know folks say, "Oh, well, I'm good with just 5 hours. I'm really good." That's because you've gotten a pattern, and that's all you know. Now there are freaks of nature that actually can do that, but no, you just don't know on a consistent basis what it's like to have 7 to 9. Now, not more than 9, because typically more than 9 is a sign of depression. Okay, less than that, you can get more anxious and depressed. So there's a sweet spot. There's a window in there where you should be. You should fall into. Okay, so incorporate Sabbath principles. So many years ago, and I've gone several times. I haven't didn't go last year, but my buddy Rusty Freeman, he has Movement Ministries, and in that ministry, he has a guys retreat every year. He has a fall one, and there's a spring one that they started to as well. But the fall one goes up to Estes Park, Colorado. And I think the first time I went, it might have been 18 or 20 guys. Last time I heard it was like 35, 40 guys. And the one last year, the one we went 2 years ago, me and some of my buddies went there. But it's going to Estes Park for a week, a little bit less than a week. And it is a Sabbath retreat. Some guys, have to do a little bit of work. And I do a little bit of work when I'm out there. But for the most part, it's to get away. And the first time I went, it was just so crazy how God revealed himself in so many different ways. Like, in the cleft of the rock on the mountainside. I went out there by myself, sat in a little chair, a little kind of hammock chair, and sat there and took naps and read the word and prayed and meditated. And that was the year after me leaving. That was right after me leaving my former church, which was toxic. Um, and leaving that church itself really put a burden on my life, my body, all these different things when I was leaving through there. And sitting on that mountainside, I remember bringing a book, The Bible Cure for Back Pain. I was dealing with some excruciating back pain that was debilitating. Couldn't work out, couldn't do a lot of things. It was all mental, emotional, and spiritual that caused that pain. Didn't get to an accident, didn't lift heavy weights or anything, but it was a stress and trauma for life. And even being out there, God revealed certain things about what was the cause, what was going on, the emotional and spiritual turmoil that my body was going through, the trauma that I was dealing with, and started the healing process. But it was like literally, you go out and do what you need to do, and the only thing is, we come together and we eat dinner together and we worship together. That was it. Other than that, you go do things. And like some guys like looking for agenda, looking because we're so used to having this thing planned out. And I got to do this and then do this and do this. And it's so refreshing to just get away. And you know, we don't, as men, we don't know how to do that too well. We don't know how to just get away and retreat and rest, a true retreat versus doing all the things. And so that was it. So on a weekly basis, daily and weekly basis, where are you going to put some Sabbath practice in? Where are you going to incorporate this into your life? Exodus 29 through 10, 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. So are we having a day of rest? Are we putting those times? Like, I don't work every day. Like on my schedule, Friday, I barely work Friday. I don't like working on Fridays. So typically on my schedule, it says from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. is off. I'm not doing any meetings. I mean, if there's an emergency, something that has to come up, yes, I get that. But for the most part, I'm not doing it. A lot of people do 5-day challenges, right? I do 4-day challenges. For number one thing, I'm going to be efficient and we can get done in 4 days. We're mostly doing 5. And the fact is, I don't want to work on Fridays. So I'm not doing a challenge on Fridays. It's just not going to happen. All right. I may participate in somebody else's, but me working, no, I may receive. So those are some things that I make as non-negotiables. And then Saturday I work, and Sunday for the most part I'm not. I may do some prep work for the week, but it's really easy. So for me, those are the days. And we don't need to have these long hours. And this whole part of I'm working from this and to this, we're not efficient. How about we have like really good work intervals inside of our life? I'm kind of jumping the gun because that's kind of coming down the line here too as well. So, but scheduling some unplugged time. For me, it's massage. I love massage. Physical touch is my love language. I love that. But my wife used to drive into Austin. I'm just going for a ride. I'm just going to take a ride. And initially, I used to be like, why are you just going to take a ride? For no purpose, just going to drive. You're just going to get in the car and waste gas. That's how I thought at first. I really did, and it was sad because I'll be like, why you wasted money? And she needed that. It was therapeutic, a therapeutic drive. And so I started doing it. I'll go hang out by myself. I'm like, why am I go to the mall or take a drive or do something like by myself if I'm not doing it with my family? But I needed that because in the drive, sometimes I'm praying and sometimes I'm thinking, I'm listening. Sometimes I'm listening to an audiobook, whatever it may be. But I'm getting away from the monotony. I'm getting away from the things that of the doing and have more being. I'm doing more human being when I'm out there and doing those particular things. So when I'm done here, actually, I've got a luncheon. Um, I got a Kingdom Entrepreneurs luncheon in Austin to go to, and I have another appointment. And so I'm going to leave here, and I'm going to go out there and just spend a little time. I'm probably going to be in Starbucks doing some work and hanging out, but I get to just ride out there a little bit early and spend some quiet time. And I'm planning on programs. I'm doing certain things, but I'm getting away from the monotony, and it's going to be light work. Okay, so putting those. So think about it. Here's some things. Tech-free Sunday. Like some people do fast from technology. I just saw one of my friends like going to be off social media until January because of all the political stuff and all the things that she's seeing. And like, I get it. You got to get away from some of those things, but like a digital detax for the weekend, saying, okay, this weekend I'm totally off social media. I'm off technology. I'm not going to touch a computer. I'm not going to do any of those things. That could be something else that you put into play. So, all right, that's number 2. Key number 3 is cultivate a growth mindset. So when you look at a growth mindset or an abundant mindset that goes against a fixed mindset or a lack mindset where there's no change in there. So what does that look like? I embrace the challenges and opportunities that come my way. What's new and exciting that's going to actually like push me into being greater? Paul talks about I discipline my body. I beat it under subjection. I put my body in subjection so that I can be ready to win the race. I'm pressed towards the call of I press towards the prize. I press towards it. I put the work in necessary. So there's things where I need to do those particular things, and I bring the challenge on. It's a new opportunity for me to learn. It's a new opportunity for me to grow. So they're saying if you're not growing, you're dying. It's kind of there. You're not going. It's hard to just stay stagnant. But there's a part of me I need to be able to look at what is it coming up, what's coming up that's going to make me better as I take the new things coming in play. So consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. That's James 1:2. Meaning you're going to face trials. Challenges are going to come. Like, instead of it being, oh my gosh, what's going to happen here? This obstacle is just so big. And how, no, how I'm going to get over this? What lessons am I going to have to learn? What things inside of me that I have not quite found that I need to bring into my wisdom, bring into my understanding, become more resourceful to be able to accomplish this next challenge that's coming in my life? It's an opportunity for me to grow. It's not a situation that's set up for me to fail, because I choose the perspective that all things work for the good. I'm more than a conqueror. So God is going to give me the tools necessary for me to get through it. Even if I may take a L's, as long as I win in the L, I win. I mean, as long as I learn, I got to learn. I either win or learn. I do not lose. That's a perspective that I choose to take. Hardships are going to come. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. The day, meaning the day of adversity is going to come. Do you have strength? Do you have power? Do you have wisdom? Do you have resourcefulness to be able to get through those particular things? Because those seasons will hit. I know it's hit for you, it's hit for me. What are you going to do then? What, who are you? How, what's inside of you? That's what it's proven. Okay. So, learn from the failures, don't fear 'em. What is it that, like I said, once again, as long as I'm learning a lesson, I'm figuring out something new I can learn from that particular failure. Of course, even better is if I learn from the failures of others. Not just the success of others, but the failures of others. That's where a good coach and mentor could come in and save you, but from a lot of stupid decisions. That's what parenting is, right? When we're talking to our kids, and of course, they already know. They're already so wise and know everything, but if they could just humble themselves and listen, Linda, listen. That's the part that they can learn from. We can do the same thing. So the environment matters. Are you surrounding yourself with other growth-oriented individuals? At this conference that I was at, everyone there has paid admission to be there to learn how to get better. The speakers have done certain things. Folks that have putting it on have done certain things to be successful in that particular area. So just like it's easier to be a Christian on Sundays at a church, it's easier to be in a place to develop and grow if you're around other folks who are doing the same thing, some like-minded individuals. I truly believe that men need a place, a sacred place for just men to be men. No women around. There's a part where we have to have that sanctuary of men only, so that what I call it the pride of lions. When the pride of lions come together, they know the strength is in the numbers, not in themselves, but individual. We're not lone wolves. It's not good for man to be alone. So what are you doing in masterminds, in men's groups, in text groups, accountability groups with other men that are going to help push you and check you? Some guys that can check you as well when you fall off, when you're not following the path or the pattern that you've already said that you're going to do too. So that's number 3, cultivate a growth mindset. Key number 4, align with your mission and purpose. Are you in alignment with your mission and purpose? So when you look at your mission and purpose, it comes from your vision. What is the vision that you have set before you? Write the vision down, make it plain. So when you have clear vision and clear core values, every decision you make will come through those filters. That's what I learned from my mindset coaches, my coaches. The decisions are made in the vision. So if I'm clear on who I am as an individual, what I stand for, my core values, and the vision that I believe that God has called me, like 40 lions speaking on stage before 4,000 men, that's part of the vision. So when I look at those particular decisions that come up, is this moving me closer to or further away from that particular goal, that mission? The calling that God has on my life, am I in alignment with that by this decision, the thing that I decide to do or not do? I've got to decide if that's going to be part of it. So when you know your why, what's the purpose beyond just the daily task of doing work? I'm just hustling and grinding, and then eventually it's going to come together. Like, now, what is it that I need to say no to? My no power has to be stronger than my yes power. What things that I'm going to actually do and set up that, knowing that I'm going to be in alignment with that plan, the thing that I'm doing. So pursuing things that are that I'm passionate about, pursuing things that are some things that are in line with who I am and what I've gone through, and what do I want to help individuals. As a coach, my goal is to help people come from point A to point B, to go from their current state to what their promised land is. What is it that promise their dream identity, their dream belief, the person they want to become, to be, do, have that individual. So for me, it's to cut all the limiting beliefs, any limitations they may have in their mind or physical body, whatever it may be, limitations that what generational curses and all the things that they may put out there that hold them back from reaching those particular goals. And so for me, it's that to eliminate that friction and get them moving smoothly, freely to flow towards those specific goals, to that dream outcome. So that's what it is for me. Okay. So what is it for you? Are you in alignment with those particular things? So, intentional living. Am I living with intention towards the things that I'm pursuing? Or am I just going through what hustle and grind culture says? Put my nose down, like, look, I put my head down and grind. Look, I got to look up, because the vision says I got to be able to, move towards the vision, not aimlessly just doing motion, doing movements itself. They're going to cause me to have stress and anxiety, depression, and all the things itself. So that's key number 4. All right. Key number 5. Once again, if you're watching this, please share this with your peoples. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Comment if you're live. Comment if you're not live. No matter, but you gotta be alive to comment. That's just how it works. So, key number 5 is build sustainable habits. So build systems. Okay. Well, thinking I just sent this to Benny. We don't rise to the levels of our dreams and ambitions. We fall to the levels of our systems, our habits, the things that we put in place. So you build the structure, you build the systems, and then you submit to them. You submit yourself to them, and you follow what it takes to go through those particular actions itself. Okay. So what can you do consistently? One thing for the last 2 years, I've consistently done this. It started off in my Facebook group. Now it's on a YouTube channel. Look, all this is going to grow in due season, but I'm committed to making this happen. The next phase is going to be putting in more videos outside of the lives, but I'm going to continue to do the lives unless God moves or shifts or way we decide to do it. But for the last 2 years, I've done this. I've showed up and given this free content to you guys. I exercise with consistency. I pray with consistency. There's certain things. Remember, what you do on a regular basis is what's going to be your fruit. That's going to be the fruit of the outcome itself. So what can you do that helps on a daily basis? It's like you working out 5 hours on Saturday is not as good as you working out 20 minutes 6 days a week. Consistency over and out. I brushed my teeth for 2 hours on Saturday. That's not good. But I skip the rest of the days. Nah, you need to do that every day. Shower every day. Don't take a long shower on Friday nights and be like, that's going to get me for the rest of the week. It don't work that way. So what can I do consistently over there? Only 20% of men maintain their New Year's resolution because they often set overly ambitious goals. So that's their hustle and grind. Like you're making $1 right now, but I'm gonna make $1 million in the next 3 months. Okay, that's a lot of stress, and then that's highly unlikely. Now you might have the skills for it to happen. It happened to a few people, but that's probably not going to happen. Am I willing to be in pursuit and be joyful in the pursuit of the goal? Am I going to do the daily habits even if they don't show just yet? When you plant a seed, like a week from now, it ain't going to just show that it's growing right now. It's going to take some time. So the farmer keeps, if he goes in there and digs up that soil and keep looking like, why you not growing yet? It's not time yet. It hasn't been cultivated. It hasn't grown yet. So planting those seeds and saying, I'm going to do the work necessary sustainably. What is it that I'm going to do? So create the systems, not the goals. What are the systems that I need to do? The daily systems, like getting sun, going to sleep at a certain time, having a schedule. For me, when it comes down to work, give me a second. This is such a cool cup, ain't it? Yeah. One of my clients, Larry, he made these for us. Yeah, it's dope. Anyway, so what are the success systems? It's going to bed at a certain time, getting up around the same time every day as much as you can, working out, getting sunlight in your eyes, journaling, praying, meditating, going for walks, do the exercise. What are those things? For me, when it comes down to work intervals, I do well with 90-minute sprints. You can look up Pomodoro timer and all these different ones, whatever, but I practice it. Don't worry about it if it's not perfect yet. You can always tweak along the way. So for me setting the environment, I got this little timer here. I'll set it for 90 minutes. And it's something about setting the timer is like, go. Like I'm in, and go. Take the test or start the race, whatever it may be. It's like I'm on. It's game day. So for that, I may have a diffuser. I may have binaural beats or some kind of chill relaxed music playing, whatever it is. Now it's like I'm setting the atmosphere for me to do the work. And then I'll take a break for 15, 20 minutes. You really only need, you've heard of the 4-hour work week and all these different things like that. You don't need to have probably more than 4 hours if you're an entrepreneur, 4 hours of like locked in work. 4-hour day. So for me, it's probably, yeah, it's about that. So obviously there's some other days where it doesn't work the same way, but I'll have two, maybe three 90-minute sprints. That's it. That's it. Any more than that, I'm going to be like drain or lack of focus. So those are some of the systems that I put in place. So what is it for you? What are things that you do, religiously? What are the things that you do on a regular basis that are those systems that have you going? So it might be reading 10 pages of a book every day. I've done that before, certain things like that, doing a journal practice, whatever it may be like that too. But, stacking these particular things along these habits, these things for efficiency itself. All right. So that's it. Creating systems, sustainable systems and habits are going to get you there. That is number 5. Number 6, embrace minimalism and simplification. Embrace minimalism and simplification. So there's a book by John Mark Comer, called The Ruthless Elimination of Busy. And I always want to say hurry. I keep saying I'm busy. It's hurry. Um, and actually read the book, really good book. My wife and I, we taught a Sunday school lesson. We taught a lesson about it in a series that was on Right Now Media that brought it through that. So the key components to it is stillness, silence and solitude, Sabbath, and simplicity and slowing. They put, it looks like 5, but silence and solitude are together. But stillness. Ryan Holiday wrote a book called Stillness is the Key. So think about this. Most of the great ideas you come up is not while you're in the grind of doing the work and that you're on a computer and you're in the meeting. A lot of times that great ideas come from the ride. It comes from you being in the shower. It comes from you walking through the grocery store, taking that walk. The great ideas come from there. Okay. Thinking is the hardest thing for a man to do. That's why most don't won't. I think that's Henry Ford said it, but I can't remember. But thinking, taking time to just think and to pray and to listen and to just sit still. Okay. So stillness is the key. Stillness. So you got to infuse stillness into your life. What does that look like? I don't know for you. It might be moments where you just grab a tablet and just sit and chill. And whatever comes up, you just write. Journal or whatever it may be that comes up for you to that. Silence and solitude, just getting quiet. There's so much like noise going around, either in our heads or externally, that's vying for our attention. How can we just sit and be silent and listen? Be slow to speak, slow to get angry, and quick to listen. There's a part of us that needs to be better listeners and grow that particular muscle itself. Sabbath, we already talked about that, taking the time off, a day, maybe Sabbath in the day. There's times where you just kind of 10 minutes of just chill, do nothing, think, relax, take naps. I take naps. Okay. Simplicity. What's essential? There's a book called Essentialism, which is really good. But what's essential? What is the simplest way of doing these things? That's many times one of my coaching clients I may ask when they get stuck and really don't know what the next move is. Like, and I just simple question you can ask yourself, or you can help with other folks. If this was simple, what would it look like? If this were simple, what would it look like? And it's something that happens in the mind, of course, asking great questions that snaps in and says, well, I'll get rid of this and I'll move this around and I'll do this. Okay. How's that feel? I kind of like that. It feels light. I want them to feel light. I don't want to feel heavy and burdensome. So it shouldn't feel heavy and burdensome. So there's a part of us that says, what does it look like when it's light? If this was simple, what would it look like? Okay. What's up, Christian? Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you, bro. Um, So just catch up in here. We're talking about moving from the hustle and grind to um, freedom and flow. All right. So yes, what are those particular things that we're looking at? What does it look like decluttering your life? Having clear systems, clear things around you. Okay. Um, the value of having fewer things. Yesterday in our staff meeting for my leadership team here at my studio, and I told them about, like, even in your schedule, like, Michelle is my overlord of operations, also known as admin and lead coach, and she knows she has access to my schedule. And like I said, it says off on Fridays from 2. I probably need to make that at 12 when I'm off. I really need to move that. Yeah. But you don't have to tell people, like someone asks you to go. So if Jim's on and I say, Jim, hey, what you doing Friday night? Jim may look at his schedule and like, well, I'm not really doing anything. But you didn't plan on doing anything. You didn't want to do anything. All you have to say is I'm unavailable. We get into this habit of like needing to rationalize and tell people what we're doing and why we can't make it and whatever is going on versus just saying I'm unavailable. I plan on doing nothing, and that's good enough. I don't need to. I don't need to tell somebody like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm unavailable. I've already planned on being unavailable, and that's okay. I don't need to explain that. It's okay to be able to tell somebody that I'm unavailable because I'm planning on doing nothing, and that's okay. Plan that. Plan nothing time. Whatever you need to put on your calendar from here to here, nothing. Unavailable. Out of pocket. The words that's resonate with you, use those words. All right. I'm not going to give you the actual words itself. You have to look at that. So, like, what does that look like? You know, streamlining your workflow. What does it look like buying your time back? Does that mean you can delegate certain tasks to other individuals? You can hire, like, if you're doing technical stuff, there's a company called Fiverr that you can go online and you can get them to do a particular gig for you. Create a email series. They can create a logo. They can do it. I mean, it's tons of things they can do for you. So this is a system that can actually do some of the work that you're either not good at or just don't want to do. All right. I know a lot of us come from the era, if you can do it yourself, do it. No, not if you don't do it that good, and not if it's going to drain you. Man, I remember there's a system called ClickFunnels for technology software, and I was editing a funnel myself. I want to put on an all nighter because I ain't good at editing funnels. That's not my jam. Okay, so somebody else need to be do that other than me. And that's why I messed up because I try to do it myself. Somebody else need to do that. So I would give a Fiverr gig or hire somebody, whatever it may be. Sometimes you delegate to technology. Sometimes you may delegate it to outsource it to other individuals to do it too as well. So what does that look like? Technology, apps, time management. There's a lot of different systems out there that you can utilize to help you build it out. All right. Number 7. Once again, if you're enjoying this, um, like, subscribe, do all the YouTubey things, and let's keep rocking and rolling. I'm glad you guys are here, those who are live, but of course, those who are catching this later on, go ahead and comment. Go ahead and love on this and send this to somebody who needs to get out of this hustle and grind culture because it ain't helping. It ain't helping. All right, number 7, I'm going to cultivate gratitude and mindfulness. Cultivate gratitude and mindfulness. So, the Bible talks about rejoice in the Lord always. So many different, I forgot that I had it in the numbers 245. It might be more than that, 44 times that Bible talks about either joy or rejoice, but be thankful always. The Bible tells us to be thankful. That's gratitude. So what am I grateful for? The more that you are grateful for, God will bring more things in your life to be grateful for. It's momentum of gratitude. It is a lifestyle. It's an attitude of gratitude. You've heard that before. So it's part of that. What am I doing on a daily basis? So one of the give you what I teach my clients is a 3x3 night routine. 3x3 night routine. Don't do more than 3 because man with 3 priorities has more than 3 priorities. You have none. If you have too many, that's like taking your Bible and highlighting every single word in it on one page. Then it means nothing is highlighted. Okay. So 3x3 night routine. You can write this down if you're able to. First thing, and it takes you less than a minute. First thing is 3 wins from the day. So I like to do this at nighttime before going to bed because I wanted to go into my subconscious mind as I'm going into theta state, which is dream state, and that prepares my mind and my soul and my spirit for good dreams and good thoughts as I'm going into bed. So 3 things that I won today. So it might have been, I closed a new client, brought a new client on, had a great workout, and I ate clean. I hydrated myself, whatever it may be, whatever those things. What are 3 wins I had today? Other thing is 3 things that I'm grateful for. Now, these can get repetitive because it's a lot of times it's the same thing. You might be grateful for your spouse. You might be grateful for your kids, your dog. You might be grateful for your church. You might be grateful for any of those particular things itself. And these get redundant because a lot of times it's the same. It's very similar, and that's okay. You don't need to come up with new things. The wins change because it's according to what happened that day. But then the things that you're grateful for may be around the same thing. Like my twin, one of his big gratitude things in life is hot water. Like, just the ability to have hot water, to be so blessed to have hot water in a hot shower. For him, just being able to take a hot shower is something that's really grounding, that he's grateful for. And the third thing, so that's three things you won in a day, three things that you are grateful for, and the next is three things you want to win tomorrow. Because I'm going to submit those to my subconscious mind. I'm going to submit those to the questions of what I'm going to do tomorrow. And my subconscious mind may be going to work throughout the night on making it simpler for me tomorrow. Not necessarily easier, but simpler, because it's already going into work to make these things happen. Okay. Um, Jim says, in what ways could we? Yes. Are you asking, like, as far as framing the question? In what ways can we? I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. In what ways could we? Or are you asking for clarification of something I said already? I'm not exactly sure, but unless you're just saying that that's a good way to prime the mind. In what ways can we do this better? Yeah, I think that's probably where you're going. How do I prime my mind to? In what ways? Like, if this was simple, what would it be? In what ways can we improve? I'm guessing that you're saying. Please confirm if I'm picking up what you're putting down there, Jim. All right. So, but yes. So gratitude. Statistics show that studies that show men who practice gratitude daily have a 23% lower levels of stress hormones. That's from Harvard Health Publishing. So practicing gratitude have 23% less of stress in all these particular things itself. That's pretty big. Just showing gratitude, 23%. That's a pretty big percentage. They actually bring more joy, bring more enthusiasm, bring more life into your day versus, the agony that we could be going through. Okay. So are you engaging in some kind of mindfulness practice? Prayer, meditation, walk, something that's, listening to music that's calm, breath work, whatever things that bring more mindfulness. Okay. That's not woo-woo. That is necessary for the turn the brain off a little bit. Fill it with things that you need to. So what does that look like? Journaling, being grounded, being present. Those are some of the things that work in there. Be still and know that I'm God. Psalm 46:10. Be still. We talked about earlier, stillness. Stillness is the key. So am I going to be still to sit and listen, that I'm not just praying and spitting out my to-do list and my requests, but I'm also listening, because prayer is a two-way street. Am I listening for what is coming through? Jim, yeah, okay, Jim, yeah, clarify that. Thank you, brother. I thought that's where you're going. But once again, asking powerful questions. You have not because you ask not. Prayer is, asking, bring your petitions to God, asking your subconscious mind, asking the Holy Spirit that's inside of you for the answers. That's all part of it. It's like, what am I asking? So affirmations, I don't like them. Most people, affirmations mean I'm happy, healthy, and wealthy. If right now you're not feeling good, that whole healthy part may not feel so good. Your subconscious mind is like, boy, you lying. You ain't happy, healthy, and wealthy. You're not all of those things. So instead of affirmations, I teach afformations from Dr. Noah St. John. Afformations is asking a question. I make it firm. I form something before I can make it firm. And that's the whole psychology behind it. So I ask, why am I a million dollar earner? Why am I so helpful? Why am I so joyful? Two things happens when you ask questions versus making a statement and an affirmation. I know this is not in the part of the notes. This is just what I'm giving you right now. A part of the presentation itself. So asking the question goes to the subconscious mind. Two things happens. It looks for evidence of why it's already been true. And it also, the number two thing happens, your subconscious mind goes to looking for the solutions to make it true. You might not be there quite yet, but why do I have $1 million ideas? Why am I a cool grandfather? These are some of the affirmations that I have. It's always a question, because I want the answers to come from something bigger than me. I want to get it from God. I want to get it from the Holy Spirit. I'm asking. You have not because you ask not. So that's just a simple system to put into place with that. You know, like, find joy in the process, not just looking for the destination. A lot of times, when I get here, then I will. When I do this part, when I get to this weight, when I get to this rank, when I get to this career status, when I get to this amount of money that I'm earning, then I'll be. No, It's not the pursuit of happiness. It's happiness in the pursuit. It's joy in the journey. I choose to do that when it comes down to that. I choose to be grateful for the journey, like even the mishaps, even the L's. How I'm going to actually bring that into my life on a regular basis. So, you know, I like to help my clients find the joy in the moments. We can easily look over those moments. Okay. And I did network marketing before, and I can remember like going through the ranks. And I said I was going to celebrate when I got to this rank. And I moved through like four different ones. I never celebrated because I looked at it, like got the little coin and congratulations. And like, whatever. That's nothing. Whatever. That's lightweight. I'll get here and then I'll celebrate. Guess what? I never got to that rank. I never celebrated in those 5 years or so. Never celebrated my wins. I didn't bring gratitude because I wasn't, I wasn't going to be joyful and happy and celebrate until I got to such and such. That's a losing game. Celebrate along the way. What are the victories there? So why does this even matter? Why does this even matter when it comes down to moving from hustle and grind to freedom and flow? Because we're going to die. This term, memento mori, is one of my favorites. I'm probably going to find a way to make a tattoo with this. But memento mori means, is Latin, says, remember, you must die. And because you're going to die, choose to live. Choose to live now. Choose to be grateful and joyful and playful in the now versus later. Okay. One of the reasons why I wear big watches to remind me that I'm going to die. So I need to know that Carpe Diem, seize this day because I'm going to die. And before I die, I want to truly have lived to the fullest. If I live to the fullest in my calling, I'm going to bless a lot of people. I'm seeking the impact. I'm seeking being driven by my mission. And so should you. Why? Because we want to minimize regrets. We're going to have regrets, but minimize them. If you haven't looked at the 5 regrets of the dying, number 1, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. That's in the grind. That's in the hustle. That's in other people's dreams versus the divine calling I have on my life. That's serving so externally for other validation and things of that sort. So a life true to myself, my authentic, genuine, fearfully and wonderfully made life is what I should seek to fill out. Number 2 is I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Wait, what? I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Is it a regret? Yes, it is. Because ain't nobody gonna be like, man, at the end of my days, man, I wish I'd have had more overtime hours. Man, I wish I'd have worked harder to get that 2%, that $2 raise, whatever it was. That's not the regrets of the dying. Okay. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Number 3, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Hustle and grind is like, just do it. Just do it. It all come out what it needs to be. Freedom and flow means I can express myself along the way. I can express my true feelings about what's working, what's not working, what I don't like versus what I do, what I enjoy, what's something that I'm passionate about. Even if the things that I'm just passionate about destroying and getting out of the world. I hate weakness. I want to abolish weakness in modern men. Weakness mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. I want to abolish any weak areas in there that keeps a man from fully being the masculine man that he's called to be. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. Stop like getting caught over that. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. There's masculinity, and then there's toxicity. There's toxic men. They're different things. We're called to be real men. And society is coming, attacking the strength of men, the courage of men, the bravery of men, men being men. And I'm sick and tired of it. So part of my mission is to abolish weakness in a modern man, the man who's called to do great things. You can't be weak and can't get sick. I want you to sit quietly in the corner like your sister. We're not built to be like your sister. We're built to conquer. We're built to go for adventure. We're built to do great things. So that can't be subtle. That can't be docile. That has to come from a place of courage and strength that God gives through your calling. As you see, I may or may not be excited about that. Who knows? Number 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Like connection. It's not. First thing God said is he said it's good to do this. He made this and it's good. He made that and it was good. He created this and it was good. First time he said it's not good. It's not good for man to be alone. We're not to be alone. That's different from solitude. That's different from Sabbath. That's different from those particular times. But doing life is better done with others. We need other brothers in arms. We need iron sharpeners. We need folks that do life with. We need other men, courageous men that are like-minded to move and be moved towards a common mission and even an individual mission. So having friends, okay, stay in touch with your friends. I'm looking forward to October going to my 30th high school reunion. I hadn't been to others. I've been to one game a few years ago, but I haven't been to these. So I'm looking forward to being around dudes. And I went to all male high school, all black males at St. Augustine High School. It started in the 50s. It's like a fraternity. It's not like any other school out there. We are different. You know what I'm saying? We bleed purple. It's different. I'm looking forward to those friendships. Some of these, we've still been friends for years. Some of them I haven't seen since I left in '94. But some of these guys, they're my ride or dies. Okay. Stay in touch with friends. And number 5, I wish I had let myself be happier. So, of these 5, the hustle culture, the hustle and grind culture defies these. They come against these. The things that at the end of your days, if God allows you to be on your deathbed, to have the thoughts and have recollection, to be able to look back on your life, let's minimize these type of regrets. Let's push these to the other end by bringing more freedom, bringing more flow, bringing more joy, fulfillment, excitement, encouragement, enthusiasm to life. It's our duty. We can choose that. We don't have to fall into the statistics of all the stress and anxiety and depression and suicidal ideologies. We don't have to fall victim to those things. We can stand firm on our divine calling and do it with fun. We do it with vigor, do it with ambition. Selfish ambition is one thing. Ambition to do what God's called you to do is another thing. We should all have that ambition. So, hope this is helpful. Love you guys. Once again, subscribe, like, comment, do all the YouTube things, share with your piece, put it out there, and let's grow together. Love y'all, men. God bless. Go hard. Peace.